Okay, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different today. I have not made any trades yet. I've only captured 4 screenshots of my initial preliminary look over and analyzation here. And so I thought I'd start with that because I'm struggling with trying to figure out where it's going this morning. I thought maybe it would help me to just talk out loud. All right, so on the 1 hour chart, we can see that it did indeed get up to that same consolidation area that I had marked out yesterday. I marked out the 1 hour 180 SMA here. I haven't actually looked at the 30 SMA, so I don't know. That's probably in a different spot now. But I'm not really paying attention to that because that's pretty far down there. I don't think that's going to be happening today. Alrighty. And the MACD is kind of heading down, but maybe possibly starting to lose that downward momentum, as you can see right through here. All right, on the 15-minute chart, the MACD is turning down, losing momentum, and the RSI here gaining perhaps a little, but it's pretty flat. Not a lot of clues right there. So this yellow line right through here is very close to the 15-minute 180 SMA. So we'll have to remember that. So I don't think I moved it at all. Yeah, so okay, so that's kind of acting as a support. 15-minute, yeah, I could definitely see it dropping down to that point before it goes up. All right, 5-minute chart here, heading down at the moment. And I think in the next frame I actually marked out the SMA here as well, because that might actually act as a support. Generally speaking, I think it's kind of going up here. It's trending up very slightly. In fact, you can almost draw a channel, very shallow channel right through here. It's a little tricky. It's kind of bullish, but not overly bullish. And yesterday I totally missed my guess. I thought it was going to come down and retest that level, but instead it did head on up right into that consolidation area and then beyond quite a bit, which was surprising. Now it's coming back down into that consolidation area to retest it, and it's kind of stuck on the SMAs through here. All right, so when we look at the SMA here, the 1 minute chart, see, and there's my 5-minute marking there, and that is where it bounced off of last time. It is currently heading down, but I kind of think I want to go long. I made that mistake yesterday of going short, and it didn't go well. So I'm thinking I'm not giving the bulls enough weight here. So anyway, all right, I'm going to go grab some screenshots and do some trading, and then we'll come back and see how that happened. Okay, so 1 minute chart, and I was predicting that it was going to go up to this point. So I jumped into a long trade with a $150 stop in place. This is some news that may or may not affect it this morning. And it looks like it was pretty strong candle going upwards, so I was very hopeful. Took all the risk off the table by moving my stop up to break even, and got up to the resistance level of this 50 SMA and started to stagnate. It hit it and then dropped back down again. And so I thought, well, shoot, I wonder if it's going to get up any further. So I lowered the limit to get out at this point because it was showing signs of weakness. And so I'm either going to make something or I'm going to make, I'm not going to lose anything. And I lowered the limit just a little bit, and it actually filled. So I made $100 on my first trade. And I was being very cautious because I still think it's going to get up there. But it was showing an incredible amount of weakness, which kind of worried me. So I thought, well, I'd better just get out at a sure thing here. All right, but then I kind of saw that it broke through that and is continuing up, so I decided to jump into another long here. got into a long at that point, and I was having a little trouble deciding where to put my stop. I realized it was on the 5-minute chart. So when I went out to the 1-minute chart, it's like, oh yeah, this is fine. This is a good place. This is a really big trade, so we'll see how that goes. It hit that point and then started to drop and actually stopped me out. And so as you can see, I actually got out at a loss on that second trade. I think. Let me see. Yeah. Did I? Yeah, I think I did. Yep. All right, so that was interesting. Disappointing, but I think I did it okay. Not really. The only thing I was starting to question was whether my analyzation was correct, because I wasn't really sure which way it was going this morning, and there was so much pushback up here. It surprised me that maybe there's more bears in the market right now than I realized. So I haven't completely come to that conclusion yet, as you can see, because I got into a long here, because it dropped back down to this point, tested that level, and then it's starting to show signs of it heading up. And you can see that the MACD on the 1-minute chart does not look good for that kind of a setup. But so far, it's looking pretty promising. I did get in on this candle here. It had a red candle and then immediately a green one. So, and the green one has now put me in a very small profitable zone. And while I'm waiting to see what's happening, I went out to the 15-minute chart. And yes, I would say this is looking pretty good. The MACD is technically dropping right now, but I think it's starting to lose that downward momentum at this point on the 15-minute. On the 5-minute, it's definitely starting to turn. So I think it's looking very promising. I may have to wait this one out a little bit longer than I realized. So in a long, and then all of a sudden it started to drop pretty bad. And I got stopped out, if I'm not mistaken. And that was very painful because that was a pretty decent sized loss, but I don't think I would have put it in a different space. So at this point I decided, oof, what do I do? I've had 2 losses and 1 gain. Well, at this point, according to the rules that I made up, I am supposed to stop because I've made too many losses. But I talked myself into it because I'm at a very small loss, and I decided that what I've been trying to do is figure out what the market's doing. And so I thought, well, I'll allow myself to make another trade if I'm very, very cautious. So this is a possible trade, and I thought, well, if it's going down, still not 100% sure that it is, this is a decent setup, and there is a lot of room there. So 15-minute chart there, and then back to the 1-minute. So I decided that it was worth it. I'm asking for a very small trade with a very tight stop, and did well on that one. I didn't fill it all the way down to here. It's just fine because if you see it didn't go all the way down to there. Let me go back again. So it dropped down to the blue line here, and you can see that's that same blue line. So I got out at a small profit, and then it jumped back up, and so I thought, okay, this is looking like a recovery. So I got into a long, and I'm expecting the bottom of this consolidation top here instead of the top of it like I was before. And I've got only $112 loss, stop loss in, which I immediately brought up to break even. And I even dropped my sell limit order down to a more conservative spot. So this is going to be just over $100 if it fills, or I'm going to make nothing or lose nothing. Sorry. So it's one or the other. And it continued to go up, so I raised up my stop to lock in $50 anyway, and got filled eventually as I lowered my limit. So I made good on that trade. So I thought, okay, I think I just need to make smaller trades, and I continued to trade. So at this point right here, I'm at about a $20 loss for the day. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Out on the 15-minute chart, we can definitely see a recovery. I still think it's going to get up to that point. And so I'm just waiting for it to drop down so I can get into a decent spot. And we go to the 1-minute chart here. Looks like it's leveled off and maybe starting to drop, so this is promising. All right. It did level off, and then it had a big green candle, and then I kind of realized, oh, I've only got 2 minutes to the opening bell here. So I decided I'm just going to at least make a prediction. I think it's going to at least get up to this point where my order is. All right. So this is 9:29. I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for it to fill. Okay, and at opening bell, it dropped way down here. So I lowered my limit. I don't remember what point I did that, but sometime between this last slide and this one. I think I got it, I was thinking about getting in right here, but again, my rules say that I should not trade at the, at the opening bell. And so I didn't actually place this trade. And had I done so, it would have filled, almost stopped me out, but then jumped back up. And watch this. Boom, right to that point. So actually that would have been a good trade. So because of that, I kind of think, and the stop that I had was only $100, so it's not that big of a loss. I could have stomached that, honestly. So kind of wondering if sometimes I need to maybe allow myself to trade in situations like this. Even though it's over the opening bell, I was being cautious, and I think that would have been a fine trade. It would have been a great trade. I would have been done at this point, and I would have made it, a decent amount of money for the day, because I pretty much started off at where I began. I was like break even. So I think I might kind of fudge the rules a little bit on that one. I don't know. So anyway, all right. So I was trying to make myself wait and watch, and you can see it kind of didn't go up above that very easily, very far. It started to really stagnate. But then it had the rejection wick here and starting to go up. So I think that it's heading up still. I think this is pretty bullish, and it hasn't gone up a whole lot right after the opening bell. It's 9:35. So I got into another long and got a little worried as soon as I did, because it just kind of got stuck right there, and I just kind of realized this is not a good place to get in. So I got out a very small loss, unfortunately, of about $100, and decided to try it again. I have another order in here to sell because I think it's going to drop, and I had to chase it a little bit, so I'm in a short position here. And it's going very well, actually. But then I lowered my limit because I thought it was going so well that I thought it'd probably drop down to this point. And I should have just left well enough alone, because I ended up getting stopped out at 0 profit because it jumped up again. So that was not cool. So I decided to try it again. Here is a short position set to fill with a very tight stop. And I believe it's just about to fill here. All right, so now I'm in, and I got stopped out at a loss. So I think at this point I'm down to I need to be going here very soon, and I've only got like $40 left before I get locked out of my account. So there's not a lot on the table yet, and so I thought, well, what the heck? If I can find a really, really good setup, I'll just trade it. So this looks like a pretty good setup. Other than the MACD, it's really high, and I think it's going to drop down again. So, but it didn't. I got stopped out and lost a little bit more. All right, this is 10:10. So I got ready, came back, looked at the screen. I was like, oh, this is a good place. I really think this is a good place. This is a 5-minute chart. So I got into a short, and then it just jumped up just a little bit and locked me out, because that was the $40 that I had, actually, not the previous one that I said it was. So yeah, I got locked out of my account with another $300 loss, second day in a row. I'm not happy about that. So I think I need to be a little bit more bold in my trading, and allow myself to perhaps trade over the opening bell sometimes if it looks like it's a good setup and I've really managed my loss well. I don't know. I'm thinking about it.